How's it going, everyone? This is Soul Singed, and welcome to the second installment of Top 10 Good Rap Songs by Bad Rappers. Not to be confused with my other series, Top 10 Best Songs by Worst Rappers. That series is where I take an artist who I think is bad and count down their top 10 best songs. This list is just 10 songs that I think are good from 10 artists that I think are bad. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into this.
No. Yeah, I'm numbing the pain, I don't feel it now. And I got him so mad cause I'm winning now. Get a Glock on my waist, I might air it out. Fit it right in my purse, I don't wear it out. Make sure the bag matching my shoes.
I already know I'm going to get hate for this. And some of you might even be saying that this can't even be a real entry because it's not really a song. But yeah, we have Coily's XXL Freestyle at number 10. This freestyle has a lot of hate. Well, Coily in general has a lot of hate. And honestly, I feel like she's overhated. She has been labeled as a Cardi clone, which is honestly true. Which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, and it's actually quite original. Because in female rap, we don't really have any artists doing this type of style. Most of your female artists are kind of riding the hot girl wave. So it's always nice to see, and I feel like she can really flesh out this Cardi clone style and really flesh it out and make something of it. She just hasn't really unlocked her full potential yet. And I also feel like she could really make it as a melodic type rapper, because that's what she mostly does in this freestyle, is just some regular melodic singing type flows with barely any baby voice or Cardi type stuff. And it works really well. I really enjoyed this freestyle. And I really don't care what people think about Coily or hell, even what people think about this freestyle. I think she has a really good voice for singing. And if she could take this and put it in a song and really flesh it out, I feel like she could really make some good music.
A lot of friends and life moves slow like the earth around the sun. And mama gave birth to a healthy new boy. That boy grew up to do big things, boy, yeah. Life sucks like really, really bad. Don't understand what the fuck you doing if you ain't doing shit. Little man, get your axe up, get your text on, be the...
Honestly, I'm proud of Lil Xan. For those of you who don't know, Lil Xan has struggled with drugs for a lot of his career. And he has tried to get sober multiple times. And the last time, it was a little over a year ago. I think it was right before the COVID pandemic. He suffered a mental breakdown and entered a rehab and has been sober for over a year. And I think it's clear that he is, because used to, when you'd see him on social media, he would always be drugged out, kind of hazy, and just kind of off in his own little world. And now he looks clean, he acts clean, and he's also gained some weight and looks legit healthy. So I just want to say, I'm proud of Lil Xan for getting clean. He looks really good now. And same with his music. He hasn't really been super active musically the last year or so. But he has been steadily improving and getting better, and this track is another example of that. His voice, not great, but listenable. Not bad. His flows, present. Again, they're not the most insane flows, but it's composed. On a lot of his older music, he was just sort of rhythmic murmuring over the beat, and now he's actually rapping with composed flows. The beat on the song is also quite nice. And it even has a few uplifting lyrics and is pretty consistent lyrically. And what I mean by that is, on a lot of Xan tracks, he'll talk about one thing and then just randomly switch. For example, on Betrayed, where the whole message of the song is supposed to be about how Xans are bad, and the whole song is supposed to have this anti-drug message, then he starts talking about pussy tasting like Skittles. We don't see any of that on this track. It's mostly lyrically consistent. And if Lil Xan continues building up on this, I feel like he could make some pretty good music.
Shot him in the stomach, but I hit him in the leg. Yeah, slit wrist, bitch. Meet my skin. Got a couple hollows, I'ma go knock off his lip. Yeah, he been off the H, he gon' shoot you in the face. Yeah, he been off the 30s for like.
Where the hell is this version of Lil Pump? This is the Lil Pump I want. This is the Lil Pump that drops bangers. This is the Lil Pump we need. This is the Lil Pump that everyone wants. Okay, first of all, this isn't even Lil Pump's song. This is a feature he did on some foreign rapper song. I don't really give a shit about that guy. But Lil Pump fucking killed his verse on this. He's rapping with a flow, not just repeating lines over, has a really tight flow. He's rapping with some aggression, which I love. One of my favorite Lil Pump tracks is I Shine. And this song just fucking hits hard. Especially with Lil Pump going in like he is with the aggression, and that grungy, aggressive beat is just... This is the Lil Pump I want back. Lil Pump just released a song called Racks on Racks. Shit was straight garbage. I don't want that Pump. I want the Pump from this song and I Shine. This is a Lil Pump we need.
So hard burning. The way I live concerns me. Oh my uncle, please help me.
So, I'm sure most of you have heard of this artist before, but have probably forgotten about him, so I'll give you a little refresher. This is WRLD 500. He's a rapper that blew up quite a while back because he sounds exactly like X. Or sounded exactly like X. He had this song, a song called Half Hot, Half Cold, and a song called Non-Existent that sounded exactly like XXXTentacion, and he blew up because of that. Then he took a huge hiatus from music, came back, no one really gives a shit. Because most of his music before the X stuff sounded like hot garbage, and most of what he's made after the X music has sounded like hot garbage. So the only WRLD 500 music that actually sounds good are the few songs that he did in this style. And for this list, I chose the best out of the three. He has dropped an EP since then, and I did listen to it, and I was not a fan of it. He has built a very small cult fan base, but I don't know, his music just doesn't really sound that good. He doesn't really have the talent or the vocal range to make his music sound good apart from this X-style sound. Because on a lot of his newer music, doesn't sound like X, but it just doesn't sound good. And he's also previewed a snippet on his Instagram of him kind of imitating Trippie Redd's Mr. Rage sound. And it is god-awful. And he's kind of doing the Trippie style flows, but with an X voice, but a little bit higher pitch, so it's kind of like this weird fusion of dial-it baby voice era Cardi mixed with X's singing voice, and it just doesn't sound good at all. So, yeah, even though this is a straight-up clone of XXXTentacion, it's the only time WRLD 500 has made good music.
Read a lit better than I read a book. Never stole shit, baby. I took what I took. I tried to tell them, but I think that they misunderstood. I did everything on.
Now, I don't hate It's Okay to Cry or anything. I've just never really viewed him as much more than a meme. The first time I really heard of his music was when he dropped that Viagra track and it blew up as a meme. All these racks give me a boner, I'm too hard. Yeah, that shit, that song. That's the first It's Okay to Cry song I'd ever heard. And I never really viewed him as much more than a meme. And then I heard this song from his 2020 album, and I love this song for the beat. The beat on this song goes fucking hard. I love this beat. And It's Okay to Cry is barely even rapping. He's just sort of whisper rapping in a high-pitched auto-tune voice, kind of like Playboi Carti. And it does complement the beat nicely. I mean, he's not adding much to it, but this beat is so good that he doesn't really need to add much to it. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about this one.
I'm gonna beat it or I won't and overdose. Really
wish that I was high with all my friends.
Never cared for therapists. My arrogance embarrassing. It isn't fair to tear with this. Addiction placed my parents in.
Now, when I first heard this track, I just kind of wrote it off as another song where Tom's talking about his addiction. And that might sound cruel, but at this point, Tom has made a good handful of songs where he's talking about his past struggles with addiction. And that's what I wrote this one off as originally, and never really paid much attention to it. But the more I listen to it, the more the track has grown on me. And that's one thing I've criticized about Tom MacDonald. In fact, everything I've criticized about Tom MacDonald isn't present on this track. Yeah, it is kind of lyrically similar to a lot of his other personal tracks. It's one thing I've complained about. But that's really the only thing on this song that I had to complain about. The beat is rather nice when most of his production sounds cheap and generic. This one has a pretty nice beat. The lyrics are good because it's no stupid, edgy, political bullcrap that he's usually rapping about. So the lyrics I like. The chorus on this one is actually pretty good, not gonna lie. It sounds good, it fits the vibe of the song, and even his flows are a little more interesting than normal. He's using a slight melodic tone with his flows, and it actually sounds really nice and conveys the emotions that he's trying to convey very well. So, the more I listen to this track, the more it's grown on me. And yeah, in fact, I think at this point it might be one of my personal favorite songs that Tom has put out in terms of talking about his addiction. He's put out quite a few, and I think at this point Withdrawals might be my favorite track that Tom has made about his struggles with addiction.
Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just popped a Xan, 50,000 in Japan. I ain't doing no plan, these red bottoms on no Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the ground.
Famous Dex, it's just sad at this point. Now, a while back I made a video, it was one of the compilation videos with no commentary about songs rappers made while they're relevant versus after they fell off. And I put Famous Dex in it. And that's when I really realized how much drugs has ruined this man's career. Because you look at Japan, it's a fun, happy, energetic song. Famous Dex is looking like he's having a blast, super happy and energetic. And then the song that he made after he fell off that I put, which is a song that came out not even a year ago, it lacks all energy. Famous Dex basically looks dead and half drugged out, and it's just sad. Drugs have basically seeped all the energy out of Famous Dex, and it really shows in his music. And he actually just got sentenced to 1 year in prison for some domestic abuse charges, and honestly, Famous Dex getting sent to prison will be the best thing to ever happen to him. Hopefully he can get clean, and hopefully when he gets out of prison he can stay clean. Because it's honestly just depressing to see him go from being so happy and energetic to just the dead crackhead that he is now.
Boy, I've been drinking red rats, boy. I've been chopping out these birds, McCoy. No one made my rich a million 9 months. Overseas, honey skin, bitch, croissant.
So just like the Lil Pump song, this song isn't here because of the main artist, which is Juice WRLD. Because I'm a huge fan of Juice WRLD, and I think Juice WRLD does great on this song. The reason it's on here is Young Thug. Now, I don't hate Young Thug. I respect his music, but I don't like his music. A lot of people really love Young Thug's voice. I find Young Thug's voice very annoying most of the time. I don't find his voice enjoyable to listen to at all. But on this track, Young Thug kills it. I love Young Thug's part on the chorus and even his verse. And plus, the beat on this track is another really, really amazing beat. I really love the beat on this one. And I feel like both Juice and Young Thug fit perfectly on this beat, and they both just go off. So that's basically all I have to say about this one. I usually hate Young Thug's voice, but he fucking killed this track.
It's bigger than black and white. It's a problem with the whole way of life. It can't change overnight. But we gotta start somewhere. Might as well go ahead, start here. We done had a hell of a year. I'ma make it count while I'm here. God is the only man I fear.
Now, I don't hate Lil Baby. He's just an artist that is just sort of whatever to me. I feel neutral toward him. You know, I don't really go out of my way to listen to him, but if his music happens to be playing, I'm not going to shut it down. But this track is incredible. This track is hands down the best song of 2020. It A, sonically sounds really nice, and B, the lyrics on this track are incredible. For those of you who don't know, which I'm pretty sure everyone has heard the bigger picture at this point, Lil Baby is rapping about race and police brutality and all that kind of stuff that came as a result of George Floyd's murder, as well as all the other people who have been murdered in police brutality cases in the past. And he takes a very, very unbiased, mature take on the whole situation. And his lyrics are just so mature and so balanced and so level-headed. And it's really probably the perfect way to talk about this subject is on a song like this. For any artist who has made songs about police brutality, this is hands down the best one to come out, both sonically and lyrically.
Pitiful. I wish you were here, mama, but every time I picture you, all I feel is pain. I hate the way I remember you. They found you on the floor. I could tell you felt hollow. Gave everything you had, plus your life to them pill bottles.
NF is another artist that I don't hate. I've just never really viewed him as much more than that Eminem wannabe that doesn't curse. He's just never really been on my radar much, and I never really thought much of him. But this track is hard to listen to without crying. This is one of the saddest rap songs that I've ever heard. Not just that, but one of the saddest songs in general I've ever heard. And it's just, wow. For those who haven't listened to the song, NF is basically the entire song he's rapping about his relationship with his mother, who died of a drug overdose. And he's putting all his anger, all his sadness, all his pain into this song, and more or less just getting it all off of his chest. And it ends with him sobbing and crying, just saying about how when he has kids, his mom's not going to be there for any of that. Sometimes he wishes he would have just picked up the phone and called her. Just really getting tore up over the fact that how things could have been if his mom wouldn't have done what she'd done. And it's just an incredibly sad song, and just an incredible song in general. And like I said, I'm not a fan of NF or anything, but my God, this song is powerful. And that pretty much wraps up this video. That was 10 songs that I like by 10 artists that I dislike. And you can go ahead and quit watching the video now, but I'm just going to kind of go over a little bit of IRL stuff. So if you notice, if my upload schedule has kind of changed, I was at one point uploading multiple videos a week. Now I'm down to roughly one a week. A lot of stuff has been going on in my life. My work has changed a little bit. I'm moved up positions a little bit, so I'm working different hours and working more hours. I'm going into work much earlier on most days. And then my dad's work schedule has changed. He is off on different days, and usually the way the days fall is he's off and I'm off at the same time. So instead of making videos, me and him are doing stuff, whether that's spending time with each other or doing work around the house or helping out my grandparents or whatever. I've just been doing a lot of stuff IRL. I've been helping out my grandparents with various things. My other grandma has cancer, so I've been trying to spend a lot of time with all of them. and work and all that kind of stuff. So just a lot, life is just kind of getting in the way of things. And even with the weekly upload, it is still a bit tough. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to consistently upload. I feel like I'm going to get to the point where I can just make videos and upload when I can and just throw consistency out the window. So all I can say is just bear with me. We just hit 75 subscribers. We are 3/4 of the way to 100 subs. Really appreciate you guys subscribing. You don't know how much it means to me. That's what drives me and pushes me to keep making these videos. So I really appreciate you guys subscribing. And if this is the first time viewing my channel, please consider liking, commenting, tell me what you think, positive or negative, I don't care. Love to hear what your opinion is. And subscribe if you like the content. And yeah, that's about all I have to say. Peace!